Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm here with Austin. And do you like Mike or Michael better?
I really don't
Okay,
care.
so you're Mike
My
Barrow.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually just say Mike unless you really get to know me, and then it's Michael.
Okay. Well, he's
It doesn't matter.
he's Mike and Austin Zentmyer. Here, two guys who work for DansComp, and there's probably some people who are seeing the obvious connections for why it'd be cool for us to chat this evening. The partnership that I just recently announced with myself, my YouTube channel, and DansComp, and I've known you guys for years, and Austin and I can't even remember where we met. It's been that long. So it's like, it's just a cool, I thought it'd be fun to sit down and talk again because Mike and I did a podcast previously where we kind of talked about DansComp, very focused and those types of things. And we'll get into that, but I thought it'd be fun to just gather and talk.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for putting this together. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So the obvious thing to start, I mean, the partnership that I just recently announced, I talked at length in the video where I announced it about why I was interested in something like this and the culture that Dan's is helping like cultivate in BMX. And not only that, but also the fact that we're all friends and we hang out every time that we're in an event together. We end up being the ones who all are like
Yeah,
together for most of the time anyways, and we've worked together in the past, so it's like it kind of just made sense to me. And I'd love to hear, because I talked at length about the contributions DansComp as a business and mail order is having on BMX culture, events, riders, all of these things. But I would kind of love to hear it from your guys' perspectives of like some of the motivation and kind of the thought behind what drives those things happening.
yeah. Well, first off, you're a shill for even wanting to partner with us. Just get that out of the way.
Hold on, I gotta get these out. My shill shades. There you
Yeah, nice.
go.
No, I mean we talked about that. Man, it was years ago. We talked. I think I reached out to you and just was like, "Hey, man, like we'd love to do something in the future with you," because I had already been making YouTube videos myself for Dan's. Um, like I always liked watching your videos as well, and I was like, "Man, this would make perfect sense." And at the time, like it didn't make sense for us, but I think some after some years and we got to know each other a lot better. And I mean, like you said earlier, you've known Austin for quite a while, and we just all became like actual friends and not just like a business thing.
Yeah.
So it made sense for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, Dan's has been around since '86, and I think of what we're trying to do. We've always have supported different levels of like contests, big and small. Like you'll see us be on flyers of your local jam in the middle of nowhere. Not talking about the middle of nowhere contest,
But
but
also that
literally the
on
middle of but literally the middle of nowhere, like these small little rinky-dink skate parks that people just reach out and they're like, "Hey, would you like to sponsor?" And like, well, of course, like,
Yeah.
um, and then even the bigger jams, like bigger events in general, like we've done. Um, Dew Tour was a big one we did. I mean, there's been countless other ones. Can you think of? I think
Like in the
I think we did
past.
something at X Games at one point, possibly.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
Dew
like I
Tour was
said,
huge for us back then.
Dew Tour was massive, but we've always done events like that. Like I said, big and small, but I don't think we did a really good job of promoting that we did anything there.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of hung out or sent some stuff, but I don't know, kind of changing that of we're going to be there. We're going to let you know that we're there. And we've really kind of pushed that forward because we want you, like the people that you are, like if you're talking to somebody on Instagram, it's probably me.
Yeah.
Um, Austin does the website stuff. Brighton is one of the other guys that will be at contests and at events, and you'll see him. There's customer service guys that'll be at events. So anytime you see us at an event, or talk to us directly through customer service or online, it's all one of us, and we're all riders ourselves. I've been with Dan since 2008, I think.
Jeez.
Granted, there was a few year hiatus and whatnot, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've been here for a long time, and Austin has been here for quite a while as well. So it's the same people that have, been here for over a decade.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And this might be a fitting place to get the frequently asked questions stuff that everybody seems to still ask and some people don't know about with DansComp. And there's that still like a lingering misinformation, I guess you could say, about it. Is like, I don't want to talk for a long time about it, but just like DansComp is not the same company that did all that. I mean, you're probably a pro at this speech at this point, so
Pretty much. I had somebody at the BMX Day event, aren't you guys owned by CCS, the skateboard company? I'm like, no, not at all.
We've heard that one.
Oh yeah, well, that was the only time that Dan's was considered corporate in my mind. That was over 25 years ago, something like that. I think it was 25. I think it was around 2000, 2001. The same company owned Dan's, and that didn't last very long. The people in the warehouse at Dan's in Indiana ended up buying it. They're the ones that had it for years until the current owners, who were actually customers of Dan's. So
oh wow.
that's what's so cool about it is it's still a family-owned business, like it's pretty much always been, other than, like I said, those 1 or 2 years in like 2000, 2001. But it's a family-owned business, and they were race customers of ours. So they would see us vending at races and would buy from us directly there. So that was cool. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to come back, was like, oh, these are like legit guys. Like, these guys actually ride.
Yeah.
And not only that, they were customers of ours.
So what is a main then?
So,
go ahead.
So A-Main, kind of the way I explain it, A-Main is kind of like the DansComp, but of remote control hobbies, remote control cars and stuff like that. Obviously that's a much bigger industry than BMX is. But yeah, the owners of that are bike people. Everything. They got into BMX racing. Their kids race BMX. They ride mountain bikes, everything. So it just kind of made sense. And,
so there was already BMX riders on staff before they actually bought DansComp.
Oh, that's super
which is cool.
interesting.
Like Brighton and Mike Lee, who are also you guys will see at events. They were already employed and BMX riders themselves.
I had no idea.
DansComp came in the picture.
So
yeah.
I know this is continuing this conversation, but how does DansComp fit into what A-Main does? That obviously has to make sense, right?
Yeah. So essentially, when I was approached initially coming back in 2020, like I said, there was only a couple year hiatus where I had left Dan's. And that's when they did their transitioning to the new ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So there's about 2-year hiatus. And they approached me, and his legit words were, I want to get the band back together. So he brought me back, Frank is, if anybody knows, like in the industry, Frank at Dan's is an OG. He's been with Dan since the 90s, and he stayed through the entire transition. And then he brought me back, brought Austin back, Jason, who's in customer service, Derek Embry. Yeah, Derek is does some of the rebuying and some of the website stuff as well with copy and whatnot. So yeah, the guys I tell people it's the same Dan's with a much bigger backing to it. As far as logistically, we have now 2 warehouses, so you can get your products. I know this sounds very sales pitch. I don't mean it to, but like, we have a warehouse in North Carolina and one in California. So depending on where you're ordering from, you should get your orders pretty quick.
And when you use the code GRANT, you can save 10% on anything that you order. What were you? Wait, hold on. I got to say that again. No, but what were you about to say, Austin?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just where it's so cool with the A main owners. You know, as Mike said, getting the band back to that together, because they very well could have just bought the company, ran it with people that don't know BMX. Just the people that work in their call center could have just taken it over and ran it as is and still been profitable. But they wanted BMX riders that know. They wanted the core people, the legit people running this, and that's what it is. We're A main, we're under their umbrella, but we're all BMX dudes. We especially like me and Barrow, man, like me and Mike here, we grew up. We just so happened to grow up 20 minutes from DansComp. So like that was our local bike shop. So like I was a kid going into DansComp with change to buy grips, with coins and stuff like that. And then after high school, got a job there, and then worked the way up, and just kind of came full circle to be back now. But yeah, man, we're just all BMX dudes that absolutely love the sport and love the industry and just want to help it grow, and really just and to kind of circle back to your initial question of like getting involved with you, my stance especially is just to keep, or at least make, the industry positive. Just keep it fun. BMX can be a little toxic or judgy or whatever you want to call it, but man, we all started riding BMX just because it's fun, and that's what we want to push. And that's why, like, yeah, we wanted to partner with you because we're homies and stuff, but also like, and you keep just your own riding, you keep BMX fun, your content on YouTube and everything, you just keep it fun and accepting, and it's not someone that rides this way and it's hateful. It's just everyone's accepted, everyone's having fun, and that's what we want to be a part of. So it just made sense.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And with that, though, I think the last thing we need to talk about to do with all the DansComp stuff from before, the frequently asked question stuff, there was a clean cut, whatever the debt and rumors and all of that crap, just like however you say that in 30 seconds so we can move on.
So when A-Main bought it, any money that was owed was paid or negotiated. Not only that, was custom, which is honestly, this was one of the major factors that made me want to come back, was hearing what they did for the customers, because A-Main essentially inherited, a mess. They didn't get the information that they didn't know what they were getting into, to be honest with you, and none of us really understood the scope of what had happened at the very end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so to A-Main's credit, they went through and just went off of what people were saying, like, hey, I bought these and never got them. They had no, and I talked to customer service reps about this when I started back in 2020 about how that went down. And they're like, we would just get calls or emails in about, I ordered this, this, and this, didn't get any of it. And if they had it, they just sent it out. Like, A-Main didn't have any of the money for that. They didn't have any of the information on those orders. They just got the customer's information and said, all right, well, here you go, just to make it right.
Yeah.
Which to me, that was a huge thing. Like the fact that they went above and beyond when they really didn't have to.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is from the outside looking in, as a customer at that time. It just, like, man, they really did care about it and wanted to make it right with the customers to build that relationship back up. And they've done a fantastic job with it, honestly. We're well past that. That was, again, I think the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020 was when that actual transition took place. And now we're, 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's in a place it's in a place where you guys support riders of every single level. You support multiple different ad channels and places for things like that, advertising and things at every level of event. Like, there's not much, the trails event, there's not much that you could do that is not being done to support the culture of BMX.
Yeah, like to Austin's point earlier, like, we are BMX riders.
Yeah.
I've been riding since 2001 or something like that. I should be a lot better for how long I've been riding, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel the
But,
same.
This just became a therapy session.
Well, I was reading Ride BMX magazine, and at the back, the end of the catalog was always a very shortened version of the Dan's catalog. Is usually like 2-3 pages,
Yeah.
and I just remember reading that one. I think it was issue number 50 or 51, something like that, and just reading that magazine front to back and just looking at all the parts in the Dan section,
Yeah.
and then realizing where it actually was. I'm like, there's no way this place is 20 minutes from my house.
That's
And
so
so, yeah,
sick.
I mean, Dan's was Austin I's local bike shop.
Let's see.
And now the local bike shop is in Chico.
Yeah, a little bit further.
Chico. So they do have a storefront.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
built in with Performance Bike because we own Performance. A-Main as a whole owns Performance Bike as well.
Hey, look at you.
Yep.
Issue number 133. With
What year is that from?
2007 buyer's guide, actually, and it has the one and only on the front.
Heck yeah.
Is that the one that has just a bunch of parts?
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
whole
well, I guess the
thing.
buyer's guide. It's funny, as a local kid at the time, sent in an email or whatever about that issue to Ride BMX because they wanted feedback on it. And he goes, it felt like I was looking at a big DansComp catalog. And he was a local with us at Dan's. So it's just funny. They ended up giving him a free set of forks, which now I have.
Who's this?
His name is Tom Lee.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
He's just a local rider that it's just so funny how it came full circle.
Should we play Guess the Price?
Oh, God.
I mean, okay. Here's a great one. Wait, let me see if there's any that are still made today that would be a good one to go by. There's the Sunday Wave or the Eastern Grim Reaper is still made today. How much was a Grim Reaper frame in 2007?
Grim Reaper, I'm going to say in 2007 was $279.
What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, my first guess was $299, maybe $250.
You guys are actually low. It was $350.
Dang, back then. Well, I guess that had all the cuts on it.
So. Yeah, the Grim Reaper, had all the cuts and was a little higher than the average frame.
The USA made the S&M and Fit frames were $350. The Sunday Wave
was wild to think they were that high then. Back then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's talk about cranks. How much is a set of profiles? I guess that might not count because that has a bottom bracket. Odyssey Womble cranks in 2007. This is the predecessor to the Thunderbolt. How much do you think those were? I'm gonna look up how much they are now because this is kind of what?
No, 159. 159.
That's how much you think they were?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The way he says that is so makes me think you're way off. I'm gonna guess 99.
Dude, no, they were 180. They're $20 cheaper back then. So that's how crazy. I mean, we don't need to go into that conversation. I'm done with this thing.
Well, yeah, prices definitely went up, but I guess honestly the USA made stuff unfortunately has gone up more.
I
guess that's a good sign. It hasn't gone up. It's a sign it hasn't gone up as much as we expected it to. So,
but at the same time, that's because the companies are eating those costs, and I don't want to get into all that.
That's true.
It's not a good thing that it's still that low. Or that
ironically, Mike mentioned Frank earlier. Still kind of top dog here at Dan's, but that from 2007 there, that was probably mostly Frank that laid that out or wrote those descriptions or whatever. And so he's still the guy.
Guarantee it.
Yeah, it's super cool that you were just mentioning before we went live, this next year is 40 years of DansComp. That's so incredible just for a business in general to be around for 40 years. let alone
like,
something
this weird industry.
Right, exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's crazy, but you don't have to go into what these plans are, but I do hear there's some cool plans in the works.
Yeah, I can't divulge too much right now, but we definitely have some very big plans throughout the year. It'll involve customers for sure in this. It's not going to be just a team thing, but yeah, we're pretty excited for it.
So pay attention, basically.
Yes.
It's crazy to think that it's already 5, I guess 5 if you want to be technical, 5 months until the new year already. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let's take it back.
We'll be doing multiple things. I guess I should say that. We'll be doing one really big thing, and then we'll throughout the year release some extra things just for 40th anniversary.
Sick. I want to take it way back. So, which of you started at Dan's first?
I did.
Okay, so you started, did you say 2007 or 8?
I think it was 2007 or 8.
But you probably started like me right after high school, right?
Shortly after, yeah.
Yeah, so Mike's a few years older than me, but yeah, I know at least me, it was basically as soon as I was out of high school and as soon as I was old enough, immediately got there to put in my application. So
what?
Basically as long as you could.
19 or 20.
What was your first job that you did there? Both of you.
Customer service.
Oh, was it really? You okay? So
no, sorry, not customer. It would technically be sales. I forgot back then they had it split up.
They had different tiers to it.
So what does that mean? What were you actually doing as a salesperson then?
So that was back when the catalog was huge still. So people would just call in and place orders.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was just Mike was the guy you talked to when you called in.
I need to get little Jimmy a new front wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always fun talking to the parents about how a front wheel for their kids' Walmart bike is going to cost more than the actual bike itself.
Well, can't it just be unsealed? Won't he be all right with that? He likes to go really high.
Mike would say, "Listen here, Karen." No, Mike. So Mike, was kind of spoiling that. So he started in the call center, as we called it, so in AC. I got to start in the warehouse, which was cool and all, but as you know, that was some work. It was wasn't AC or anything out there, so I got to work in the summer on the heat. But
I totally forgot you were in the warehouse. I totally forgot that.
Yeah, for several years, man.
I remember you going to customer service. Totally forgot.
Yeah, so eventually I got to move up with you to the AC stuff. But yeah, man, I started in the warehouse. Man, I did everything. I started packaging bikes. Before bikes went out, packaged them with packing material to keep them safe. I worked in receiving, checking orders in. Eventually I got to move to the custom wheel department. So I'm sure you remember, but back, in the 2000s and the 2010s and stuff, Dan's was huge for the custom wheel building.
Yeah, I had one.
So I got to do that along with Derek, who still works with us. But yeah, we just built custom wheels all day long.
I had one
so
built.
That was pretty cool.
I had a guacamole green hazard light and a lime green demolition hub because I didn't know that they made a rim that matched the hub.
So we were probably sitting back there building it like, why didn't this dude do the whatever?
Probably.
Oh, then I bought the rim that matched and then had to, that was a relacing lesson for myself. That's pretty cool though, that like you guys are still able to work with them even though they're based in California now. You're both in Indiana still, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy because I think me and Mike did very, very similar routes, but kind of how it came full circle. Like I said, like we started right out of high school, did like the lower level jobs there. For me specifically, I was working there through college. I graduated college and was like, okay, it's time to move on and, get a big boy job, I thought, or whatever. So did all kinds of other jobs. And then, then A-Main bought Dan's and they brought me back and kind of came full circle to now I'm, kind of running the website and just absolutely love my job and love what I do and just get to circle back and still be a part of the industry that I grew up loving is the coolest thing, man. Love it.
Jobby.
Yeah.
The jobby, not a hobby or a job. It's a jobby.
There you go. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I would say that. Yeah.
I would say I started in sales, then went to what we called merchandising. So that was I was doing rebuying for brands, then also did all the descriptions and specs. So any spec that you would see on the website or in the catalog of like inflated tire width and inflated tire diameter and chainstay lengths before everyone really started. Like that was actually from Dan's. Like we're the ones that really pushed that forward,
Mm-hmm.
and I was one of the guys that did all that, all the specs on all the hard good stuff, and then ended up, eventually going to more of a marketing role.
Which is kind of where you're at now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is like the day-to-day type of things that you're doing?
Sorry, I didn't know if you were talking to me or Austin.
Both of
For
you.
me, it's get up and check Instagram, check all the socials essentially. Instagram being huge, Facebook, YouTube, looking at comments there, just seeing what's going on, then scheduling posts, and then usually dealing with team writer stuff. Um, and then I do all the graphic design stuff now and the content creation. So I have my hands on a lot of different stuff for sure. So not every day is the same.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
What's running the website like, Austin?
Man, kind of like Mike. I'm wearing a bunch of different hats and doing all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of project based, but I've also the past year or so took on a big role as another buyer. So I'm doing a lot of buying. So now my days are a little more routine. Just making sure everything's stocked, but kind of once I get that done each day, then it's just kind of project based. It's hey, what do I think the website needs, or what would be cool, what would be helpful, and then just finding a project and working on that and building something. Just trying to make it as user friendly as I can. So I've done a lot of stuff, just making it easier for customers to find what they're looking for. Whether they're an experienced rider or those parents that have no idea about any of this stuff. Just trying to simplify it for people so they can find what they need.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun, man.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into stuff that you'd never even know or think of until you're directly involved with that, and how easy things can just like break. And you're like, I don't even know what happened.
Especially like with a site like us, man, when we have thousands and thousands and thousands of products. So it's not, like some brands, they have their brands, they have their stuff. So it might be, a couple, a handful of bikes, or maybe a few, parts or a clothing brand, some shirts and stuff like that. But, we're managing thousands and thousands and thousands of products and SKUs and stuff. So when it comes to trying to make the site better or work with dealers or whatever, it's a lot of the technical, behind the scenes, a lot of data. Like, so Mike definitely does a lot of the content creation, and I basically live in spreadsheets. But I love it. It's kind of cool. Like with my job, like I'm kind of nerdy like that and enjoy that stuff. So to get to combine that, but then do it about BMX stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird clash of worlds, but it's pretty fun. But then we also have the random days where me and Mike go out and film something. So what was it, last Thursday or something like that? Half our work day was just out at the skate park filming a video about the new Nowhere slow your roll bottom bracket thing.
Those are the good days when we get to go outside and just like, this is my job. I get to go out and film something.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like, I have to go do some toe whips for a video. Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. When's that video coming out?
I don't know. I haven't got to it yet.
Oh, okay.
Probably it's a reel. It's not like a full-length video.
Okay.
So it'll probably be next week on that one.
Right on.
But
it's cool though that like there's even an effort put into the social media like side of things in terms of like being educational. like the video that you released last talking about high tensile steel and educating people in that. I mean, you and I sat there and talked about that video for like 20 minutes the other day.
Yeah, that was. I knew I knew we'd get some shit for that one, but I mean, it's the truth. And if you guys haven't seen that video, but we talked about high tensile steel being okay for its purpose because we would have. I mean, I posted there's a photo of a new 2026 bike. I can't remember what brand it was or anything like that, but it's high tensile steel. It's meant for entry level riders.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first comment on it was, if it's not if it's not full chromoly, don't sell it. I'm like, really? And then I like to skim through the the 30 and over Facebook.
Oh my God, you put yourself through that torture? That group sucks so bad. Come at me, group. I hate you.
Yeah, exactly. It's always somebody posting a bike. Hey, is this any good? And then first comment, it's not full chromoly, it's trash. And it's like, but is it really? Because how is this somebody that's just getting into BMX and he's over 30 now and he's just getting into BMX? I will say, if you're probably a full-grown adult, this is something we kind of talked about. If you're probably a full-grown adult, you might want to go ahead and try to spend a little bit more for some, at least partially chromoly. But high tensile steel bikes are made for kids. It's made for an entry-level kid who's learning. You don't want a Walmart bike because those are junk.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And then you have to spend, I think it's $550 to even get into full chromoly.
Yeah.
It's like there's a huge gap in those price ranges.
Oh, dude.
And that's where these bikes fall. I mean, my first bike was high tensile steel, and I bent the rear end. I bent the hell out of the rear end, but I rode it for quite a while, just upgrading different parts on it before I finally had to upgrade the frame.
The amount of crazy stuff that has went down on that fit from my complete bike series. That bike has had so much crazy stuff by so many different people happen on it. And it's like, granted, yeah, there are people who knew what they were doing, and the hardest people on bikes are kids who are learning how to do tricks. But at the same time, it definitely goes to show, and I was telling you on the phone, like, I need to make an updated video about that same concept because I'm part of what's contributed to the full chromoly or nothing mentality in this world. And, yeah, I get it. Yeah. That 30 and over BMX Facebook group should be called 30 and over. We don't ride. We just sit on the internet and talk crap to each other.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, like the toxic side of it is like, and that's why we so badly just want to promote positive communities in BMX, just especially like nowhere. Like that's why we so badly wanted to be involved with nowhere. It's just, man, just be accepting. Just like some people can't afford a nice bike or they're just starting out or they don't know or whatever. And it's, who cares? Like, just be accepting and, whatever. And yeah, like I said, that's a fine line we have to walk at DansComp is the core riders. If we put out something like that instead, being too supportive of entry level riders or entry level bikes, then we're not cool enough. But also we're like, well, yeah, we want to get kids into BMX so they become core riders like you are. Like, yeah, they're not yet, but no one starts that way. And yeah, it's such a tricky balance.
What a fascinating sociological subject. What's the right word? Sociological. Yeah. I don't think that's a word.
We're BMX riders, man. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's real though, because that is absolutely a thing. If people are scrolling through their Instagram and there's too many DansComp posts that are aimed at 12-year-old kids who don't even ride yet, and there's not enough like Matt Ray doing something crazy riding street, then it's totally like, I don't even want to say understandable, but you could see how someone would have that perspective of like, oh, I don't want to follow this. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, we want to, I mean, I think back when I was a kid, again, I grew up, local to DansComp, but like I didn't know all the details of a bike and like what it is, and there weren't pages out there where you could go learn stuff. So that's like so much of what we're doing was like, yeah, help kids learn like what parts they need. Not everyone knows, or not everyone knows what's good, or what parts are compatible. So it's keeping it core and kind of trying to transition these kids that maybe are new and just starting out, but kind of help them make that transition to become a core rider and make them fall in love with it. So not be embarrassed because they don't know.
Let's be honest, we just want them off scooters. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
This is an accepting YouTube channel. No, I would love to hear both of your thoughts, because they're it might be the main thing to solve in BMX right now, is how to get people who don't already ride BMX or know they want to ride BMX to want to. Like, how do we get new people who have never even seen BMX before to want to ride the bikes? Like, yeah, seeing Jake Rutkowitz do a backflip out of a curved wall ride that says DansComp on it is awesome for all of us, but a little kid's gonna see that and it's just entertainment for them. So like, how do we make the connection to get more people to want to ride? And I feel like DansComp being partnered or owned by A-Main, an RC car, like, I don't know the word, but I feel like that's a perfect opportunity to make connections and grow things that way even.
Yeah, I think so much of being DansComp, being a bigger company in the industry, we get a lot of pushback of we're too big, so people don't want to support your local bike shop and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, if you have a local bike shop, yeah, absolutely support them if they carry BMX stuff and all that stuff. But most bike shops don't. So that's kind of our push, is like to be, out there for a place for people to do it.
Yeah.
Just to get more people out. And I think obviously the pro riders and all the amazing riders out there are getting kids' attention and getting people into the sport. But again, just going back to just everyone in the community just being cool, when people start, sometimes people may want to come check it out, but if people at the skate park aren't cool and accepting, then they're going to come like, oh, those people are jerks, I'm done with this. I think it's just, we're getting people's attention on social media because of the reach. And so now it comes down to us as riders at the park to be accepting. Don't shun the kid at the skate park that's trying because he's in your way, or don't get crappy or like yell at him. Help him out, teach him something, show him if he's in the way, tell him, hey, you got to learn to flow, check, watch this or whatever, and teach him and just help the sport grow, man.
Yeah, that's all definitely things that people need to be conscious of once the people make the jump to try to go to a skate park. It's a $1 million question of how do we get them there? How do we get them from seeing something and being like, oh my God, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen, I want to do that? And I don't necessarily expect a definitive answer on this one, but it's a subject that I always try to keep moving, because that's how we grow BMX, or at least keep it alive.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has a right answer for that, because I mean, yeah, they can see somebody like Brady Baker on X Games and he does this crazy stuff. A parent watches that and they're like, oh, you're absolutely not going to be doing that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything like that. BMX is jumping off of a curb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's BMX. You know what I mean? If you're building a ramp outside your house with plywood and bricks like we all used to do, that's BMX.
Sounds like you just found a DansComp ad campaign. That's BMX. And you use Brady Baker doing a cash roll, crazy whatever, and then also show him building a ramp out of plywood and bricks and jumping off of a curve and telling a kid on his Walmart bike that that's BMX too, and that he can do it too.
I can't take full credit for that. I'm going to say Shane from the USA BMX freestyle series
Yeah.
was talking something about that. I just kind of stole it, took it, I guess. I don't know.
Good artist
I
copy, great.
reinterpreted it.
Listen,
But no, he's 100% right. That is, if you are, I'm not sure exactly what context he was talking about, but that is, if you're just doing jumping off a curb on a bike, that's still BMX in a sense.
I think that we need to actually show stuff like that in videos and show the, like, literally spell it out of like Brady Baker who can win X Games dirt, and then he can also go and jump off of a curb, and like both are BMX. You don't have to go and do this crazy thing because all of it's fun. And I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
can be
you
it.
gave me a really good idea for a video.
Hey, that's why we're partnered.
Yeah, I think kind of what I was saying too, if just the push of, and this is like kind of a point I've been making for a while, almost like a little slogan or something like that, but just keep BMX fun, because I think so many people, if they do get into riding, if they get to comparing themselves to other people, if they're not as good as other, like, people take it too much as a competition, and you have to be good, and you have to be this level, or kind of like you said, kids see Brady and, oh well, I can never do that, so I'm never going to get into it. It's like, maybe it's easier for me to say this a little bit now that I'm a little bit older and I'm not trying to be as good as I used to be, but it's just have fun with it, man. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter if you're the best or if you can do anything, or if it doesn't matter if you're sponsored, that's for sure. Just have fun with it, man. Do goofy stuff sometimes. Just keep it fun.
Yeah, I think it's a tough thing because we're inherently in a sport where people are connected with companies as an advertising vehicle, and it's very natural for someone who's seeing that and starting to compare themselves to that, but it's also the advertising vehicle to try and sell it at the exact same time. And it's a really, I don't know, it's a dynamic that's interesting, I guess.
Super slow.
Definitely balance to it for sure.
Yeah, and it's
That's why a lot of our content, like for the YouTube channel, I focus a lot on those people that basically questions that we get asked a ton about. So I get with customer service, I'm like, what are people asking you guys? And a lot of that is like, I'm not trying for the dance channel to be a vlog channel.
yeah.
You already got, like you do some of those. You got Scotty out there doing that. Like those guys are good at doing that stuff. I don't want to do that. There's already plenty of that style of writing, and there's plenty of style of videos. They're much better writers than we are. Um, but what we do focus on is like, how do I install this? What's the difference between this? One was like frame geometry. That was a big one um,
Yep.
that we got a lot of views on. Like just things like that where we want to be, or not to be like a slogan, but like your number one spot for BMX as far as you come to our website, you can find just about anything you want to about the sport.
Yeah.
From the parts itself to installation to tech help. And that's what I'm kind of a tech nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. So materials, geometry, all that stuff really gets to me. So that's the kind of content a lot of times we focus on.
Yeah, I think this, not to like certainly not, tone the company line or being, company guy or whatever, but that's why, like, personally just want to do whatever we can to see the industry grow and to help it. Like, obviously from an employee standpoint, like Dan's, yeah, of course we want the company to grow, but like just on a personal level, man, like I had a few years where I wasn't riding BMX very much. We hadn't gotten our new skate park at the time, so we just had our old decrepit prefab park. Kind of got tired of having to travel every weekend and beat myself up to try to, be as good as I can and all this stuff. And then COVID hit, so I couldn't go to parks. I couldn't do shows, so I didn't, had a couple years where I didn't ride BMX all that much. But the past, 4 years or so, like being back in it full time, just really opened my eyes of like, dude, this is amazing. Just the camaraderie you get with your friends and just how good it is for just your mental health, just to, get off work or get out of school, whatever, and get to go to the skate park and have some fun outside, just something to do. Like, not even to try to be the best rider you can, but just to have fun and enjoy it. It just really opened my eyes. I'm like, dude, this is such a good outlet for people to have in life. And that's why I want to almost use our platform at Dan's to help it grow. Like, not just for the company side, but just use our platform to be able to help BMX grow and more people experience the freaking magic of BMX.
Yeah, I'll say it. Edits with crazy riding are great and awesome. And I think you guys should keep having your riders have edits. But promoting how much fun BMX is going to serve so much better than a crazy edit that people forget about next week because the next crazy edit comes out that we all already know. It's the same as Instagram clips that just get lost. It's just an edit might take a little bit longer to get lost, and the return on what it takes to make it versus if you take that pro and for one day you go to a pump track and a skate park and maybe you say you don't want to like do a vlog style thing, but just like showing pros having fun on their bikes in addition to whatever edit you might have. I think that is the type of thing that BMX really is lacking right now. There's no shortage of crazy riding. It's just entertainment to people. And that's essentially what it ends up being, is entertainment.
I think especially when like the level of riding has gotten so far and people have gotten so good, because I feel like that's why scootering got so big, at least for a while, because it was a lot quicker for, skill to pick up, BMX, you have to ride for several years before you can do a tail whip.
Right.
But scooter, you can maybe do it the first day. So yeah, and then pair that with social media now and people comparing themselves and stuff, it makes it hard for people to get into it and to stick with long enough to get good and feel adequate, to where like, man, it's not about that. Like you said, just showing people, hey, you can not be good and still love it. You don't have to be good. You don't have to be good at your hobby.
Yeah, I think what I've noticed back, 2010s and even earlier in that, well, I say especially in 2010s with props was around and all that, you would get a sense of who the riders were, their personalities.
Yep.
You don't really see too much of that anymore. And I think that's kind of a bummer because, yeah, they might ride amazing, but a lot of my favorite riders are obviously good riders, but it's because I had this like connection with them from watching a props, like a Road Fools, and like, oh, that dude's funny too. Like, not only does he kill it on a bike, he's super funny, he's super down to earth. Like you do build a connection with these guys. It's just like any other like the normies out there, I guess you can say, that
they're normies,
really like a football player or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of times they like them because they're also this outside of football. Like when they're off the field, they're this person. You don't really see that much anymore with BMX of like, what does this guy do outside of BMX? And it was funny because recently we just posted a thing with Jacob Thiem and his signature stem with Nowhere.
Yeah.
And I filmed we were at BMX Day, and I filmed a bike check with him. So that'll come out later this month. But a lot of I purposely throw in little just clips of showing off his personality, like him punching the camera thing. And like, that was totally off the cuff. Like I was going to use it for a transition. I was like, hey, do this thing for the camera. And I was going to use it for a transition. And then he made that comment of like, oh, that was a nice one. Felt like a sleeper. And it's like, people, I showed that to Carl at Nowhere, and he's like, that was funny. Like, because that's showing off his personality. And Jacob's a funny dude. Yeah. But unless you know him, unless you met him, you don't really know that.
And you can't get that through a crazy riding edit.
Yeah, exactly.
So
contest rider possibly, like,
that's something they're kind of doing for anyone that follows Supercross racing. Like, they're trying to make it more personable because they've realized, like, hey, when people that are just checking in on TV, never seen it. They just see a bunch of guys in helmets. They all look the same, so they're all just basically like robots. So now they're trying to show more behind the scenes, talk to the people and stuff, so people can pick out a favorite and get to know the person and get them more involved.
Isn't it?
Yeah, something kind of BMX needs to pick up on, I guess.
Isn't it fascinating that exactly what you're talking about is exactly what would happen when pros would make a YouTube channel and make videos, and they would be talking and people would have something to make a personal connection with. But it seemed that all of core BMX and the people who really, really care enough to like hate on things just kind of made that taboo. It's not as much as it was, but it's
not near as much as it was.
It's so fascinating that like this thing that everyone loves as far as props, and the fact that you could make that personal connection with these people that become superheroes to you was like now made into taboo because you're doing it yourself because no one else is doing it right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think
Sorry, go ahead, Austin.
I think for so many people, kind of like I said, the industry was kind of like a little bit toxic in the sense like you had to be cool. So it was very like BMX, at least for a long time, was very cool guy industry. You had you couldn't seem to whatever, and I think maybe that steered some people away from doing that or showing their personality too much in that. I think it's definitely gotten better in recent years of just. And we're humans, normal people. Like you don't have to be, have to have that tough guy exterior all the time. Just be yourself.
And yeah, I mean, back in the day, like you remember, dude, that would, God forbid, you did anything other than ride BMX.
Oh, that's
like
still
you showed
a thing.
off, like you went snowboarding. I can't remember what pro that was, but showed off that went snowboarding, and he got a bunch of shit just because. He went snowboarding and he wasn't riding his bike at that time.
Crazy.
So, like you just had to show that you only rode BMX. That's all you did. That was your life. And that is a lot of what they did, and that is their life. But people do have hobbies outside of BMX, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You do, I do, like all of us have hobbies outside of BMX.
I don't know.
But back in the day, like God forbid you showed that to anybody.
I don't know about you guys, but I literally just only ride BMX. That's my I wake up and I ride, and then I eat breakfast and then I ride, and then I eat lunch, and then you know what I do? I ride.
What about the 8 hours a day you spend shit talking online?
Listen, man, I'm riding while I'm sitting in an ice pick while I'm doing that.
I believe that. That's probably true. Yeah.
How funny! Actually, it'd be really funny. Reading mean comments in an ice pick.
There you go, right there.
Oh my gosh! No, I'm not sitting here trying to dwell on these types of things, but I think they're things that are important to talk about because it becomes the norm for people. It just becomes everyday life to be in these mindsets, and if nobody ever challenges that or talks about it, then it just stays the norm, and then that's how things can get progressively worse and worse because you know that once you're used to something, okay, a little further, and until you have a collective of people who are like, hey, wait a minute, maybe this could be something some people could think about. And that's why I talk about this stuff at all in the first place, is because I know that there's other people who talk and think about these things, but when you don't do it in a public way, less people, like you just reach more people whenever us three will sit here and talk about this, and then it goes out there, and then the conversations ripple from there.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like you said, I think it's something, a lot of people deal with, kind of like what you were saying, Mike, about like, you can only BMX and that's it. Like it was like that for a long time. So I definitely went through that almost. Once I was slowing down with BMX, I still wanted to ride and something to do. So I got into mountain biking for a little bit, but I felt like I was betraying the industry. I felt like people were going to give me crap and all this stuff. And, it wasn't that I was leaving BMX or like talking about it. I was taking BMX to the mountain bike world,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so many riders have almost like an identity crisis. Like if they do start slowing down, or they have to slow down because they have kids or a job or whatever it may be. And I think, yes, so many people don't talk about that. Like I've literally had deep conversations with, I can think of 3 different BMX dudes that went through that, and they thought they were all alone in that. Like they didn't think anyone else felt that way. And it's like, no, it's, you know, it's okay. I think it's something we all deal with, like outside of BMX, who am I? And it's like, you can be, you know, BMX isn't who you are. You can, like you said, have other hobbies or do more, or it not be your entire personality. You can do more and still love it and still ride all you want, you know, take a step back or ride a little bit more, whatever. But yeah, I think that's stuff like that is something that a lot of riders mentally deal with and feel alone on, but that's not the case. It's something that a lot of us have to go through.
Yeah, that comes full circle back of like talking about how not seeing the riders' personalities come through. Like you said, there was a time where that was starting to come through, then it's not. Now, branch what you're saying, YouTube, like BMX in general is slow to change. And I remember guys making YouTube channels and just getting a ton of shit for it.
Oh yeah.
But now it's like big names like Dennis Henderson are out there, and he has one of the best BMX related channels. And what he posted, I've never watched a mountain bike edit in my life. And his BMX MTB video that he just did, or MTB BMX, was so sick. And even though it's still on a bike, but it just shows you like his vlog style. So it shows you his personality. And that's one of the reasons, not only is he just absolutely insane on a bike, but he has a good personality behind it.
Yeah.
Which is why he's one of the best and most recognized pros out there.
Yeah. It's one of those things. So I have a video coming out tomorrow that's called Things I Would Tell My 15-year-old Self. And
That's awesome.
What I think we're driving at with like what you were saying, Austin, and at its core, what I think it is that the people who make it to like their 30s and 40s who ride are the people who are all in, and like BMX is their life to them. And what it took me a long time to realize is that not everybody is going to love BMX as much as I do. And you take that a step further and say like, not everyone is going to be able to make BMX their entire life until they die. And it's an understandable thing for them to do other things in life and want to show those other things. And just in general, like we're people. And yeah, I fully sympathize with what you're trying to get at there.
Yeah.
It's just
it's tough. And I think that too, kind of a lot of people, as they do get older, it's that mindset of competition, kind of so perfect example, you know, like I said, I slowed down with BMX for a couple years and then got, picked up and got back into it kind of full time, especially when we finally got a skate park here in our hometown. We finally got a good park. So several of our original riders from around here, some of them rode the whole time. Some of them got back into it. Some of them tried to get back into it, but they weren't as good as they used to be. And so they didn't want to do it. And it's like, that doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to, be, it's not a competition. You don't have to be as good as you can be. It's just,
it's about being
I feel that way. It's hard for me a lot of times to go to a park and be like, man, there's stuff I knew I used to be able to do. And I bet if I sent it, I bet I could probably still do that trick, but it's probably not worth it. So, but now I'm finally like at the mindset of like, that's fine. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I put front brakes on it, like in the past year or two. And so now it's like, yeah, I don't have to go send the big tricks anymore. I can have a blast working on tech stuff and so riding and just trying to learn little new tech stuff. Just finding a way to have fun with it.
There was something I was going to say about YouTube, and I can't. And like to anybody who has anything to say about a person who makes videos on YouTube, talks to a camera, whatever, you better not pick up your phone and watch a video where someone's talking to their camera then, because I guarantee everybody else watches a video like that at least at some point, or has someone they follow who is talking to their camera. And there's a million and one different ways that we can do this stuff. I just think it's a funny thing to think about. Is like everybody does it. We all watch those videos.
Yeah. And even if something like, just be nice. Who cares if someone's doing something you don't agree with?
Nope, it's not allowed. Not allowed, Austin. Stop it. You're not allowed to do anything that people don't agree with.
I think I literally started this podcast interview thing with like, man, we wanted a team with you, Brant, because you're positive and we love all that. But yeah, just be nice and just help the world be a brighter place and just let people enjoy their thing. If people enjoy, only riding airbags or resi, who cares? Let them do whatever they want. If people only want to grind rails and not, who cares, man? Just let people be happy and hope people enjoy BMX.
Yeah, my perspective on all of this stuff is that we're all gonna die one day, and I'm never gonna let myself have the thought, oh man, I wish I did this thing, but I didn't because of what someone else thought.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Never. And it's kind of wild, but like that's kind of the hardest thing to do in life, is to kind of have that mindset, even though it's so simple. But that's huge right there, man.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to like why we need more personality from people in BMX, because the guys who are at the highest level are like, yeah, maybe they have influence from somebody in their riding, but all of them are being themselves on their bike and people want to see it. And I think if we could see more personality and get more of that from them, like it would just perpetuate that even more. And yes, it's going to create people who want to be like those people because that's naturally how that works. But at the end of the day, through that, they're going to find themselves.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Be yourself. Don't be somebody else. Just stop trying to see what you see someone else do and do that, or be them, or feel like you have to act a certain way or be a certain way or do certain tricks.
Unless you're going to go do a Fufanu or a 5-tap, definitely you should do those.
Right. Of course, standing on a sub box.
Oh, that's hilarious. So obviously you guys are lifers. You guys work at Dan's, and it's awesome to see Dan's still around and still like supporting people like you to work there. You're working remotely and getting to ride and all of that, and it's sick.
Yeah, ride, go to events, like it's awesome. And I took a couple year hiatus of, I mean, I guess we hadn't even talked about this, but yeah, I started back in 2020 once A-Main purchased the company, and then I think I left in 23 or a year and a half, 2 years. I think it like gives you 2 years, right at 2 years, because I just got a very, very rare opportunity to work in another industry that I loved, what I thought I loved as much as BMX, and that was, I would work there for 2 months, and I was like, hey Frank, if anything ever comes back up, let me know, because this isn't it. This isn't it.
Yeah.
Luckily, it finally did. So I'm back at doing this, but it's always like one of those, grass is always greener. I felt like if I didn't take the opportunity to at least try it, I'd be kicking myself for not trying it.
Yep.
But this is one of those opportunities where I tried it, didn't work out, and luckily I was able to come back to Dan's eventually. But seeing the other side of it and just viewing it, I almost needed that refresher, because I had been viewing it from the inside out for all those years. Now I'm viewing it as just a customer and seeing different things that just as a whole in the industry were not quite being addressed, or just I mean, I thought one of the funny things I did notice was I thought BMX was negative.
Yeah.
And to your point, Austin, you're talking about there's definitely some toxicity in it. This other industry blows BMX out of the water in toxicity. So coming back, I was like, oh man, this is a refresher. This is so much nicer. Everybody's
Which
so nice.
I think that's possibly because it has grown a little bit. Like I feel like the industry has gotten a lot better in the past, maybe 5 years than it used to be. I think maybe, in the 2010s stuff, it probably was a lot more, even just like the riding styles, man. Like I remember back then, when I was at my peak, so to say, 2015, 2017.
If you don't
stuff,
stop, you are both great riders.
Hey, well, thank you.
You're near the level. You're doing double whips still, bro. Anyways, when you were at your peak, whatever.
Well, just saying, like back then, it was definitely like, man, you were a park rider or you were a street rider, and you're one of the two, and it's so far fetched, and there was no real middle ground. Like there's very, but now it's like it's a lot more open. Like everyone's just, it's not as hateful of like street riders hating park riders. Like everyone seems to, I think for the most part, get along more. And obviously there's a lot more crossover, like our dude Jacob Theme, like that dude goes out and he'll be in shorts and doing quad whips on box jumps, but then he'll go do like, a nose across a long ledge to 180 bar off or something like that. Like does both incredibly well.
Matt Ray is another example of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Matt's really. So go ahead.
I think just in that sense, the industry's kind of grown and come together. But yeah, even like we were saying, just going back to how people are, like I think it's gotten, obviously, yeah, there's still a lot of people in this, especially on social media. But I think outside of that, the industry's definitely gotten, the community's grown and gotten a little bit more accepting and everyone getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the squeaky wheel.
Yep.
Mentality of you see something negative online, but as a whole, BMX is a much better place now than what it was, I think, in the 2010s, where if you, like I said earlier, if you were doing anything outside of BMX or you showed anything like that, you were shunned essentially.
Or you did
anything. Started a YouTube channel, you were shunned.
Or you did anything other than a Smith nose bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that just kind of takes it back to like the beginning of the conversation, talking about the way that DansComp and you guys help contribute to the culture of BMX through all these different avenues that no doubt have a positive light that they help shine. Like the fact that DansComp helped out as much as you guys did with the middle of nowhere and that the prize purse for that is like shining a light on that event, while also simultaneously the month before having what ended up being the most seen obstacle in all of Swamp Fest. Like those two things contrast so much in terms of like where they're at in the world of BMX. But the fact that a company wanted to support both of them in a huge way just says something about like the intentions of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that that mindset of DansComp, being some big corporate and we're just here for profits and stonks and all that stuff. But like, no, man. No.
Wait, does A Main have a stock?
No.
But I think that's the point. Is no, man. The more we're able to grow and the more Dans does, it's not the more that can go and we can buy more suits and. No, it's the more we can give back to BMX to help the sport grows,
Yep.
So, as me and Barrow came back, in the past 5 years or so, Dans is on the rise and we're growing and stuff. And that just means more we get to do for BMX, more events we get to sponsor, more pro riders that we get to bring on the team and we get to, pay for them to be a pro rider. And the more we get to sponsor, flow riders, and mid-tier people and more events we get to do, like hooking people up to go to Woodward and stuff. Like, yeah, the more we grow and the more we do, the more we can give back to the sport because we want it to grow because we love it, we care about it. And
yeah, there's so much stuff that we want to do, and hopefully we can make it happen. And it's all just because we love it just as much as the next guy. Like I said, we've been doing this for a long time. Even if when we didn't work at Dan's, we were still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things, like we want to do cool shit, so that's what we're gonna do. And even though like A Main owns it, the guys that run Dan's are all either the OG Dan's guys or riders that were already in California under AMain's umbrella.
Yeah, like all the DansComp, like, you know, part of the AMain umbrella, like, yeah, like we're legit, man. Like, you know, Mike, our marketing guy, when he clocks out and he's not filming content, he's going to the park to ride, have a sesh, him and his kids sometimes or whatever, you know. When I'm not managing the website, I'm down there too, or I'm off doing shows or something. And even Frank, you know, top dog, you know, he's a little bit older, but still, several times a week, he's down at the park with his kids, getting them into it, and they're taking them to the local dirt jumps and stuff. And
yeah, his kids race like they're
they're at the racetrack 3 times a week probably. And yeah, man, we're all lifers, and we're just lucky enough to get connected with DansComp. But yeah,
and so I can't help but think while you guys are saying all of that, how silly it sounds to let this like mindset of like, oh, but they're killing local bike shops to creep in and take over with all of that existing, because in my eyes, any local bike shop that fails because of something like DansComp in the terms of BMX means that they weren't doing anything in the BMX side anyways to get their scene stoked enough for them to want to support. Like, no mail order shop is putting someone who is doing a good job with their scene and cultivating even just the cycling side of things. No mail order is putting that out of business.
Yeah.
And there's these days, there's very, very few cities that have a big enough BMX scene to support a local shop. So that's why, man, I bet at least 90% of bike shops in the country have very little to no BMX stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why we're here, man. It's either, it's not that those bike shops aren't carrying BMX stuff because of Dan's. That's not the case at all.
Yeah.
But what about those kids that live there that their shop doesn't have anything? Well, we want to help still have some BMX riders in that area. So
yeah, I think that's a cop-out answer with if a local bike shop says that and they don't carry BMX parts, if they're blaming it on us or any other mail order, it's because it's not just us. They'll blame it on XYZ.
Yeah.
That they don't carry BMX. Oh, I don't do it because the competition from Dan's and these other companies is too high. It's like, that's the whole reason why Dan started, is because local bike shops do not want to support BMX. It's just not BMX as a whole is not very profitable.
Right.
I think anybody that's in BMX knows that.
Right.
Like a $1,500 BMX bike is a high-end BMX bike. $1,500 mountain bike is your budget mountain bike.
Yeah, and bike shops way more likely to want to sit on a $4,500 mountain bike that makes them a same percentage of a profit margin, but much more money and quicker in that one sale to generate that. But I also don't want to go ahead.
As kids' bikes too.
Yeah,
they just think, so if they do even have BMX bikes, it's going to be a watered down version of whatever.
Yeah, it's like
it's going to be something that's high tensile steel.
Yeah.
Like a kid's mountain bike, like a 20-inch that's not even. But I also don't want to speak in a vacuum and make people feel like we're on here just like, yeah, dude, DansComp, whatever. Because like all of the mail orders that are out there right now that are core to BMX are doing good things for their scene. There's the reason that they're all still around, and we all love and appreciate all of them. Albies, Empire, all of them, Circuit, Powers. I came in like all of them.
Yeah.
And
they're supporting BMX and BMX riders.
And that's why they're all still around. And I'm still wearing the shill shades because I want to I have a partnership with you guys, but I'm friends with everybody and I'm friends with people at all of these.
Going into this, we specifically said we don't want this to be a Dan's ad. I think we into that unintentionally, but it's just get on here and talk BMX and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's you nailed it. It's a nail on the head, right? For sure.
It's hard not to come off that way when we're talking about how we personally feel about DansComp, but then we're employees, so comes back to DansComp. But all this is, like I said, no, it's just because it is how we feel personally, and it's what we care about.
Even when I was way back when I was just in sales, when I first started, we were pushing people to local shops.
Yeah.
Of like, how do I install this part? We suggest taking it to your local bike shop. Anything like that. And that was before YouTube was a real big thing for sure. But we want you to go to your local bike shop and get support there if you can.
Yep.
Unfortunately, a lot of these shops don't know how to work on BMX bikes, and the amount of atrocities I have seen from people sending in photos of their local bike shop installing a gyro, for example, is just like, it's awful. So it's like you try to do that, but if they're not going to take the time to support BMX themselves, it's one of those, it is what it is type of thing. Like, we're going to bring you back to us because we're going to help you.
And it's not
kind of a funny story. Oh, sorry. So just tagging on that.
Yeah.
We have a local a mom here that has an 18-inch bike, and she was trying to put a gyro on it and couldn't figure out whatever. She took it to a local bike shop here, and I guess they had no idea what they were doing. I forgot what she said. I think just trying to adjust the back wheel, like they had like 3 mechanics all looking at it and trying to figure it out and stuff, and could not do it. And this kind of funny full circle. She was like, she reached out to me because she's met me at the skate park and stuff, and she reached to me. I was like, yeah, I'm happy to help bring it over. I'll knock it out for you. And later, before she dropped it off, or when she dropped it off, she said, in the meantime, she had been watching YouTube videos of like how to fix a gyro and stuff. She's like, there's these 2 videos I watched. Like, I probably watched both of them 100 times, and like was trying to, but I still couldn't figure it out. She's like, one of them was this dude with like blonde, kind of long hair, whatever. I was like, oh, it's my buddy Brant. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So she's watching your video. She's like, funny. She's like, then I was watching another one I watched 100 times. She's like, and then I realized, oh, that's Austin. That's the guy I'm taking the bike to. So she was watching our gyro video.
That's
and
funny.
Then she ended up bringing the bike to me. It's kind of small world. But yeah, the same point. Yeah, most local shops have no idea what they're doing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My first experience of that when I first started riding was trying to get a sprocket. This tells you how long ago it was. It was probably a 44 tooth sprocket with a built-in bash guard.
Oh man.
And I was wanting to go to the local shops because Dan's was like a 30-minute drive for me, but there was a smaller bike shop that was only 5-10 minutes away. So my parents took me over there to get the sprocket installed, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have a specialty tool. We're gonna have to order a specialty tool, and then it's gonna take us about a couple days to put it on. And I can't remember how much they quoted me to put it on. And I took it to Dan's the next day. We just went ahead and went there, and they had it on that day for $5. I want to say they wanted to charge me like $30 plus a 2-day wait.
Yeah.
Because they had ordered a specialty tool on it. And now, like, in hindsight, when I actually really got into it and started understanding all the parts and how they worked, I'm like, what specialty tool do you need to install a sprocket that you don't already have at a bike shop?
They probably, I don't know, actually.
And not only that, charging $30 for it when Dan's charged me $5 and literally did it in front of me. Maybe, less than 20 minutes or whatever.
Maybe it was a 19mm crank puller that they think they need, the one that threads into the outside of the crank, because BMX used to do that.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I don't even think I had 19mm cranks back then.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so I know this whole thing probably felt like a giant Dan's ad, other than when we were talking about real stuff, but like,
I'm still waiting for us to talk politics and aliens.
Oh, you guys got to tune in to my OnlyFans.
And religion and anything else that's not,
That's on my OnlyFans page, Mike.
Yeah.
No, but
I think that goes back to like us being homies and stuff. Like, I think was it the last or one of the last Nowhere events we're at, like me and you just sat there and talked for like an hour about that kind of stuff, about all this conspiracy stuff. And
yeah,
you're like, and I should be over there filming this, but have you watched this?
Yeah, if you guys want to have those conversations, just come hang out. Let's see. You're potentially going to the ranch camp, not official, I don't think. I would guess middle of nowhere next year.
I'm sure we'll do that too.
Probably,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, so
That's such a good event.
If you want to have those conversations, just meet us there and we can figure it out.
Yeah.
That's funny. But either way, I just wanted to get us together to chat about some of this stuff and like give people more insight into like something that I feel like probably not very many people have ever done in general. Is like, hey, I have this partnership and I want you guys to get a connection to the people who I'm connected with in that. And then at the same time, I'm throwing it in there. I have my discount code that helps the people who are watching, but it's like, it's one of those things, it's a full circle thing rather than, me just being like, hey, I want you guys to give me this, and this a month, and I'm going to do this. And it only helps me. It's like, we have a thing that helps the people and then we all get to like be connected with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Homies help homies.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm excited for you guys to come ride trails before it gets cold. Yeah, I just publicly obligated you to that. And
then I'm going to throw it back because we've been trying to get you down to our new skate park down here.
All right, here's the deal. If we set a time for you guys to come up here, I will set a time for me to come down there.
All right. I think possibly October we talked about, potentially. Loosely October.
Yeah. So hopefully it's still summer in October because of our stupid weather. And
yeah, it's a toss up.
And either way, you guys will be at Rays this winter. I know that.
Yeah. We usually go every year. I think I was coming back from a totally different trip for my other job at the time. Unfortunately didn't get to make the last one.
Yeah.
I got to go all the way there last year. That's a 7-hour drive for us.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah. I got to ride maybe 30 minutes and I got a screw in my finger. I had to go to the ER and get a tetanus shot. So yeah, I drove 7 hours, rode for half an hour. And that was it.
Your truck broke down.
Yeah, I was going to say that it was just all bad.
Yeah, as a whole, yeah, my van broke down, so I had to get to scoop up by my buddy. And
yeah,
good times, man. BMX for you.
So with that being said, everybody pay attention to the stuff that DansComp has going on. These guys' personal Instagrams where Mike is going to post more riding. Austin already posts a bit. And
well, that's the thing. Like when you work in social media, your personal social media pretty lacks a lot because I don't want to do it.
Hey, I get it, man.
Once I'm on social media all day, I don't want to get on my social media.
Hey, I get it, man. I get it.
But I do occasionally post stuff on there for sure.
Yes. So I'll have all the info in the description and we'll see you guys at an event somewhere and we'll see all the people watching all over.
Yeah, man. If you guys see us at an event, come up, talk to us, say what's up.
Make sure if you see Austin setting that booth up, make sure you get there as soon as he gets it set up because you will get a free t-shirt.
Yeah,
that's a guarantee.
Yep.
Until Brayton comes up and snags them all.
Whatever. I'm only wearing the one you gave me at Nowhere right now.
Brayton likes to come up and you all got any of those socks?
Listen, let me tell you something about those long socks. They're the best. Use my code to buy them, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, thanks for coming in, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.